25 years ago, seeds were planted through the formation of Mennonite Church, Eastern Canada. Now, as we move forward into MCEC's next chapter, the leadership team reviews the amazing harvest that has come and reflects on what it means for us to move into the next 25 years. With its core mission being extending the peace of Jesus Christ, the leadership team has identified 3 strategic directions to help us grow into 2038. They are Anabaptist identity, focus on mission, and unity through diversity. Let's begin with identity. What does it mean to be Anabaptist? How do we identify ourselves in today's society? And does that identity differ between congregations?
Do you recall the God's People Now tour? That was the time I joined the Mennonite Church Canada leaders and made a visit to each MCEC congregation. They were good visits. We asked each congregation, what makes you Mennonite or Anabaptist? There were some good responses, but I was a little dismayed at times. Often the response was simply potlucks or community or social action. Didn't really have a strong, deep sense to what it means to be a Mennonite Christian. I think our congregations need to go deeper than that, have much deeper biblical understanding of what it means to be Anabaptist and Christian.
That's exactly what the Tending the Soul program is aimed at achieving. A common longing within our congregations is to go deeper in our relationship with God and with others. A group of pastors and lay leaders have come together to plan a series of 6 retreats over the course of 2 years to cultivate an awareness of the presence and activity of God, both in our daily lives and in our congregations. If we want to move into the future and keep pace with where God is leading us, it's important for us as leaders to focus on deepening our awareness of God's activity and presence in our lives. Spiritual formation, it's at the heart, the very heart of being a strong church.
Speaking of identity, Jeff, moving confidently into the future with a strong sense of purpose and direction, that means defining clearly for ourselves who we are as leaders and what we believe, and communicating to our members and neighbors what it means to be Mennonite Anabaptist Christians. And that means that we as leaders will have to be clearly rooted in our theological identity.
It has been suggested, and I agree with this, by the way, that it's not just our new congregations that need to have a strong identity in their Anabaptist ways. If we're going to go into our neighborhoods with the peace and love of Jesus, then all of our congregations are going to need to be grounded biblically and spiritually.
I really enjoyed the MC Canada Assembly dusting off the Bible last summer. I was impressed by how many young adults, as well as us older folk, participated in a study conference on the Scripture. These are challenging times. If we're going to find our way forward as a church, I think we need to keep this interpretation of the Scripture at the center of how we discern together. Jeff, remind me about the conversations you're having with Derek Suderman.
Right. Derek teaches Bible at Conrad Grebel College and is inviting us to wrestle with Scripture in new ways. What Derek is inviting us to goes well beyond biblical literacy. It's about becoming reading communities that are equipped to ask challenging questions of Scripture. Wrestling with Scripture has incredible potential to invite us to reclaim our identity as people of the book.
This identity stuff, I think it's really going to push us, stretch us in new ways. In fact, as I think about it, I think it's already beginning to happen. It's going to be a two-way street. If we are going to be clear about our Mennonite identity, we will also have to understand who our new partners are. The leaders, they're coming to us, and they're asking us to come and visit their homeland so that we get to see them. And they want us to have a better understanding of the passion that they have for this Mennonite understanding of the gospel of Jesus Christ. For instance, there are no Mennonite churches in Laos or in Sri Lanka, and there's just a very, very few in Burma. And they're coming to us and they're saying, listen, we want our people back home to have a better understanding of this Anabaptist thing of service and of peace and of everyday discipleship. Please help us.
So what does that mean for us, Brian?
Well, I think it means that MCEC is going to become a glocal church.
Glocal. Glocal.
Global and local. It's a new day, and we're going to have to find new ways of doing ministry and mission, because the international mission field is now in Canada's front yard.
We could never have predicted that we'd have to start thinking globally. But God seems to be putting these opportunities right in front of us.
One quick example. The mission committee of First Hmong Mennonite Church, they came to me and they said they wanted to do a short-term mission trip to Ethiopia. I've never been to Africa. What in the world do I know about Ethiopia? So I introduced them to Bethel Ethiopian Evangelical Church. And now they're talking together, making plans, or helping First Hmong Mennonite make plans to go on that short-term mission trip. And they want to meet with Meserete Christos. That is the largest member of Mennonite World Conference. And I think we're going to see more of this in the future, not less.
Sometimes I wonder whether these new congregations have an even stronger Mennonite identity than our historic congregations. Either way, being grounded in Anabaptist spirituality and theology, it's more important today than ever. I think and hope we continue to find creative ways to work at this.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Agreed. Identity is simply foundational. Literally, I think our future depends on it.
Knowing who we are by defining our identity is foundational to moving forward with purpose and mission. How does your congregation engage some of these challenging questions around identity? We invite you to join the conversation.